So that's one thing I want to do, and go ahead and write this down. Bridget, write it down. Becky, Susan, no, 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 write it down. Go to this point number 7. I'm gonna give y'all flowers, women. Y'all do an amazing job with community. Y'all, my church, previous church, House of Faith, Prayer, Praise, and Worship Ministry. My first lady there, Pastor Judith Smallwood, has an amazing job. She does a book club once a month where they get a book together, they pick it, and they read over it. Y'all know what book club is, and it's amazing. They won't tell me what they talk about there, which is bogus, but that shows the unity that they have. And I've tried. No one folded. No one folded. And they discuss a book, and they get healing from it emotionally. They're there for one another. Sometimes even maybe from what I hear, maybe they don't even get to discuss the book sometime because somebody will have something come up and they address it as a community. Then that translates to a women's meeting, a women's retreat, which it's already probably sold out. It does no good for me to try to come up here and hype it up. It's probably already sold out. It's going to be in May, but I'm pretty confident it's probably already sold out. Like, it's that bad. It's like that cold, that good. And they meet, 3-day retreat. They all provide food for each other. They provide the entertainment. They all set who's going to talk, who's all of that. And again, another way where they're able to have these moments. That's what I'm big on right now. It's like moments. Even if I date someone, like, I want those moments. Like, those moments are special, and you can't forsake those. Just like you can't forsake the assembly of the saints. Like, there are certain moments like you can't. They're pivotal. I want the moments where, like, 70 years down the line, 50 years down the line, and the whole, like, the family's talking about it. You remember when? So they have those moments. You remember when so and so came to the Lord? That goes to their emotional strength. Now with us men, we kind of just get together, we look around, talk about the weather. How's the weather doing? It's very the same thing, generic. Not saying that it's not anyone's fault. That's just how we are as men because we don't talk. We don't even know how to talk to each other, to be honest. I think it was a lot easier when we had beers and stuff, yeah. But we can't keep that up. But maybe I don't know. Maybe yeah. I'm not gonna advocate that. It's just like it's very awkward, and I don't know why it's that way. But it's gonna continue that way if we don't talk. So that's the viewpoint as far as the direction we're headed. Right, loneliness. I can feel that. This is where number 8, ladies, y'all could do better at this. Let's take it to the divorced parents and just in general, like, if you got a brother, if you got a dad, if you have an uncle, whatever, like, check on them because I promise you, the phones ain't ringing like they ring for y'all, and you may not, like, this isn't a time for egos, this isn't a time for pride, this isn't a time for any of that. Like, this is just the truth. Like, our phones are not gonna ring like y'all's phones, so you can miss us with that. You probably wake up to 300, 400 DMs alone, and yeah, it's probably all crap, but at least it's ringing. Ours is not ringing like that, and you don't know what's going on the other end of that. You don't know where your uncle's head is. You don't know where your ex-husband's head is. You don't know. And real love is like, you got to check on these people because us as men, we don't talk. So we could be dying on the inside and nobody would ever know. Take Black Panther. Nobody knew he was even sick because we don't talk. So we can do all the mental health. We can do all that we want to, but it take action. You can't just do nothing. And with us, you're gonna have to just find out because we don't talk. I can't tell you how many times I've cried because I don't get to see my kids. It's empty. And it's a hole that will never be filled unless it can only be filled by my children. But I mean, if I try to get my way, I'll go to jail or because you can't huff and puff and blow certain situations down. You can't do it. So it hurts. It's a wound that only God can heal. And sometimes God says, I'll leave you a wound and I won't heal it. It's a thorn in the flesh. And all of us got it right now. And women, yeah, y'all are running things. Very proud of y'all and want to encourage y'all, but we're still here. We still can see, we can see the game just like y'all. When we were out working, y'all could see the game. You hear about our day and y'all were able to tell us where we could get better at. Just don't lose sight of that. Let's not get into the thing where we are at war with each other. And throwing out salaries and all, like put that aside, because we are approaching some times where we don't want broken men who are hurt, who feel slighted, who feel emasculated, who feel but can't even identify what they're feeling. We want to break the cycle of fear coming out as anger. We want to break the cycle of fear coming out as control. We want to break the cycle of fear coming out as hate. We want to break those cycles. We want to be more like Jesus. We want to be more like David. Help us, in Jesus' name. All right, so the tools that were never given. Tools that were never given. I would say for me, a tool that was never given was how to be a father, right? What being a father is, what being a man is. So for me, I remember being in my career, progressing, going up, elevating, promotion, and then it starts to get a little strange because then I don't really notice anybody. I don't notice anybody that looks like me, meaning I don't see too many young African American men being where I was at. So that was a little worrisome. Like every day I woke up, I felt the pressure of I can lose my job. And it was great because obviously I'm getting promoted, but that feeling was not going away. Every single day, it was just like, man, I could lose my job. So then something would happen with the kids. I cannot stay home. I cannot call off. I cannot miss because I do not want to lose my job. Every day for 7 years, that was my mindset. And it weighed on me. And I didn't have anyone to pick up the phone and call and figure that out with. The advice I would get would be something like, tough, man up. You can't lose that job. That's, something my mom would probably say. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's the truth. I can't really lose it because I got all these mouths to feed and it's hard. So the tools that I was never given was I never understood what the pressure was. It's easy to say man up and go through it, but sometimes like you want to know like what you're going through. And if you can't, then maybe you'll like spend some time trying to investigate it. And in that is where it can be damaging. So I also never knew what it was to be a father. Like I never had that tool. I have it now. And what sucks is I have it now and I don't, but my kids ain't here. I didn't have this patience. I didn't have this attitude of like, it's no big deal. You spill the juice. I felt like I had to instill discipline or whatever. I have it now, and now I don't have the opportunity. And so then that comes with more pain. And that'll be my third thing. The tools that they didn't tell us about was the pain of being a man. It sucks to this degree. Like, your phone's not going to ring. You're not going to get responded back. You'll get the tail end of birthday gifts. You'll get, the tie, like that's a real thing. You'll get stuff like that, but that's it. Like you're pretty much forgotten. It feels like. And then there's these one moments that happen like one every quarter, one every 3 months, and one of the kids will call and say, man, I need some advice. And it's like, you have to feed off of that though, because that don't happen all the time. So the tools I never was given was, I never was given the understanding of how life is. And because of that, that's why I end up having a lot of respect for my father when I could say, he never raised me. He never raised me. Yeah, but now I see what he had to go through. I'm experiencing it. The system makes you want to quit. I have to do CPS classes for an incident that did not involve me, did not involve my household, did not involve my daughter who lives with me. And yet, here they come, whooshing in. You have to do this, you have to do that. That's on top of probation. That's on top of just, losing a job. That's on top of trying to, stay firm in my commitments. There's no good jobs. There's no you can do it. There's no you got this. It's just me and God. So, and that's just a little small glimpse. And compared to what my father has been through, the fact that he's still here, how it goes off. And there's many other men like that. So the things that they don't tell us is like You don't know you don't know what this feels like. We're holding this back. Like women, this is the part where like I've been down with y'all, but you don't want to know. Like we hold a lot back because it falls on us. It's spiritual. Let them with ears hear. But there is a covering, and we do cover it. And that part I didn't know, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
All eyes on me, but they don't see me. They see the highlight, they don't see the history. They screenshot my scars, but they don't know the source. They talk about my fall, but they don't know the force. Water I was drinking had me dying inside, smiling on the outside, my soul was dry. Every rumor trending, every whisper loud, but nobody asked why I was breaking down. If you knew my story, you wouldn't throw stones. If you felt this empty, you know this alone. All eyes at the well, watching me choose between my pride or living truth. All eyes at the well, but I ain't running now. He called my name in the middle of the crowd. I was thirsty for love, thirsty for love. I ain't your headline, I ain't your shame. I ain't the worst thing I ever became. I've been riding with survival, heart in defense. But he saw past the armor and the confidence. God didn't flex, heaven didn't raise his tone. Just said you don't gotta do this alone. Let him look, them stare. I ain't hiding my prayer. Let him talk, let him judge. Grace don't need that love.